Welcome to week 5 of our course. This is March 17th. It is St. Patrick's Day, and that's why I'm wearing green today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our course and talk a little bit about St. Patrick's Day and why people in America celebrate things like St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you haven't celebrated this before, but it's a really popular holiday in the United States, and it's about Irish heritage. And heritage means like where your family came from, kind of like the history of your family. And so there are a lot of people in the United States, including me, where a long time ago our families came from Ireland and other countries too. And so today we can talk about how the United States has people from many different countries and many different cultures. And because of that, people in the United States celebrate holidays about those cultures and those heritages. So St. Patrick's Day is about being Irish, but there are a bunch of other holidays too, because the United States, what's special about the US is that most people, their family came from other countries. Maybe it was recently, like there are a lot of immigrants in America, and maybe it's like my family. My family moved to America about 100 years ago, and other people it's further back, like 300 years ago. So people from many different countries went to the United States. And so the United States is what we call a multicultural country. Multicultural means many different cultures. And so they're all mixed together, and there are different groups of people, and some people celebrate everything. And that's one of the nice special things about the United States, is you can learn a lot about other cultures. And so when you're learning English, it's important to learn the language, of course, but you want to learn culture. And if you want to know about the United States, you need to know a little bit about many different countries, many different cultures, because the people in America could look like anything. You could have white people, black people, yellow people, brown people, red people, whatever. There are all kinds of people, because the United States is a very diverse country. Diverse means there's many different kinds of people. So diverse, many kinds of people. Multicultural means many cultures all together. If you ever visit the United States, you should try to enjoy some of the different activities, like the different holidays, the different festivals that people celebrate in America. So let's take a few minutes to talk about some of the holidays in America that are popular and holidays that celebrate different cultures. So these are called ethnic holidays. So we're going to take a look over here. Hopefully this is working. It seems to be okay. So happy St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is a holiday that is all about Ireland. And so, just in case you forget, Ireland is this country over here. Well, this island over here. The United Kingdom is made of England and Scotland and Northern Ireland. So that little piece there is called Northern Ireland. But then down here, the bottom of this big island is the country Ireland. And so, excuse me, a lot of people in the United States have family that comes from Ireland. And maybe not recently, but a lot of people a long time ago, their families came from Ireland. Like me. Everyone has 8 great-grandparents, right? And so for me, 5 of them came from Ireland. So about 100 years ago, my relatives went from Ireland and went on a boat and went all the way to the United States. So that's the story for a lot of different people. So Ireland is that country over there, and St. Patrick's Day is about a saint. Now, a saint is a person who is connected to the church in Catholic religion. So Christian. Okay, now we don't want to get into too much religion, but Christianity is a religion and it's about Jesus. The biggest kind of Christianity is called Catholicism. So if someone is Christian, they believe in Jesus. If someone is Catholic, they are a kind of Christian. And Catholic is the most popular kind of Christian in the world. And Saint Patrick was a person who the church sent him to Ireland, and he became really important in Irish history. And still, Ireland is a Catholic country. Okay? But anyways, so the holiday is called St. Patrick's Day, about that person, but now it's not about religion, it's not about Jesus, it's not about praying, it's just about Ireland and being Irish. And so, on St. Patrick's Day, people will wear green. And that's because the Irish flag is green, white, and orange. And green is a very important color for Ireland. If you ever go to Ireland and you walk around, you'll know why. It's green everywhere. Let me double check something. And yeah, and then also a symbol for St. Patrick's Day is this little leaf called a shamrock or a clover. And so, yeah, how do people in America celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Well, click too fast. One important thing is a clover. A clover is a kind of plant, and these plants are all over Ireland. And so people connect the idea with Ireland, of course. And another name for a clover is a shamrock. So people will wear shamrocks or put shamrocks in their house. This kind of image is everywhere. And it's very lucky if a shamrock has 4 leaves. Usually, a shamrock, this clover, has 3 leaves, usually. But then once in a while, there might be one little leaf that has 4 leaves. That's called a 4-leaf clover. And people think that's really lucky because they're hard to find. If most of them are 3 and you find one with 4 leaves, ooh, that's special. Now, what else are some things connected to St. Patrick's Day? Well, there's this little kind of, almost like an elf, called a leprechaun. And a leprechaun is not a real thing, of course, but it's a like a magical little person who's probably about this tall. And a leprechaun is an Irish mythological creature. He's or Irish folklore. So it's not real, but it's like a little magical guy that comes from Ireland. So here's a picture of like what people think a leprechaun might look like in real life. And then here's a cartoon version. This cartoon leprechaun is really famous in America. And he's on cereal box. So this kind of cereal called Lucky Charms. Everybody knows this leprechaun because this cereal is really popular in America and they have commercials on TV all the time. And so leprechauns are these little magical creatures or magical people. And what's special about them is they have a pot of gold. So people say that leprechauns have a secret pot of gold. See, like this baby has a pot and it's filled with gold. And that pot of gold will be at the end of a rainbow. So sounds kind of crazy, right? But if you see a rainbow, at the end of the rainbow, you'll find a pot of gold. And so people want to chase the leprechaun and steal his gold or something like that. And then this cereal company, or this kind of cereal, Lucky Charms, there are commercials in America all the time about this leprechaun with his pot of gold and his delicious breakfast. Very unhealthy though. Lots of marshmallows. Okay. And because of these different images, on St. Patrick's Day, people will use these things to dress up. So you might see decorations of clovers everywhere, and you might see people dress up like leprechauns. Like down here, you can see these two guys who they're dressed up in green, and the guy on the right is a little bit like a leprechaun. And then here, this little baby is dressed up like a leprechaun, and it's pretty cute. And people will have that beard. Now, why is it red or orange, I think? Well, a lot of people in Ireland have red hair. So if they have red hair, if a person in real life has red hair or red beard, they're probably Irish. So that's just something about Irish people. Some people have red hair, which is pretty cool. I'm only part Irish, so I'm not red hair. It's not in my family. And I look more Italian, right? And then I come from Massachusetts, and Boston is in Massachusetts. And there are lots of Irish people in Boston. And because of that, the Boston basketball team is called the Celtics. And Celtic or Celtic means the kind of people from Ireland. So people in Ireland are called Celts or Celtic people. And so that's why the Boston Celtics, they're named after Irish people because there's so many Irish people in Boston. And sometimes this team is called the Fighting Irish. They're Irish and they want to fight their enemies. So kind of a neat thing. So what else about St. Patrick's Day? Well, on St. Patrick's Day, like I said, one of the celebrations is everything needs to be green. Green clothes. And in Chicago, they actually make the river green. This is a real picture. And so they will change the color of the river and make it green. Kind of scary, right? And then what else do people do to celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Let's see, make sure. So one thing that people in America like to do for St. Patrick's Day is drink beer. So in America, people sometimes connect Ireland with drinking beer. And so on St. Patrick's Day, people drink lots of beer. They wear green, they go to the pub or go to a bar and drink beer with their friends. And so the most famous kind of beer to drink on St. Patrick's Day is this one. And this is called Guinness. So it's spelled with G-U-I, but it's pronounced Guinness. 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 And Guinness is a really dark beer, and it's really delicious. If you've never tried it, you should try it. It's really smooth and yummy. And then people will have other beer, and just because it's St. Patrick's Day, people will add color to it. So sometimes people will have green beer on St. Patrick's Day, which maybe seems a little bit creepy, but whatever. It's just food coloring. It doesn't hurt you. Now, do people eat anything special on St. Patrick's Day? Well, most people in the U.S. don't really do anything special for food. People wear green and maybe have some beer. So most people don't do food. But if you do want to have some Irish food, what can you have? Well, on the left here, this is called a full Irish breakfast. It's a lot of food. And so a full Irish breakfast is like the traditional kind of breakfast that people in Ireland would eat. And you can get this at restaurants in America, or of course you can, well, some restaurants. And of course you could try to make it yourself. So a full Irish breakfast has a fried egg. It has thick bacon, like the bacon's pretty thick. And then something called black pudding. Black pudding is made from blood. So it's a little bit like pig blood cake in Taiwan, but it's or like duck blood in Taiwan, but it's called black pudding, which I think it's made from pig's blood too. I'm not sure. So this black thing that looks kind of like a black sausage is actually made from blood. And then classic Irish sausage, and then some tomato, and some mushrooms, and some beans, and whoa, mosquito attacking me. And here there's some toast, and sometimes they have hash browns, which is fried potato. And so a full Irish breakfast. It's a ton of food, but it's really good. And then for dinner, what could you have? A traditional Irish dinner is something called corned beef and cabbage, which is this picture on the right. So it's kind of like, well, it's corned beef. Corned beef, it's a kind of beef that they put in salt for a long, long time, and it changes the beef. It's hard to describe, but it's really good. It's like a big piece of beef that it's not the same as regular beef because it's, I don't know, hard to describe. But it's this word, yen, which it's corned. There's no actual corn, the food. They leave the beef in salt and it changes the beef. And then you serve it with cabbage, this white vegetable, and sometimes with potatoes and carrots. And it's really good. Maybe you dip it in a little bit of mustard or something. Or that's what my family likes to do. So, yeah, that's basically what people do for St. Patrick's Day. Drink beer, wear green, eat an Irish breakfast, eat corned beef and cabbage, and get together with your friends. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. And, oh, just a reminder, Ireland is another English-speaking country. People in Ireland, I mean, there is the Irish language, but most people speak English in Ireland. And they have a really interesting accent. The way they speak English sounds really nice, actually. I really love the way they speak English. It sounds good. And for you guys, I would recommend that you try to listen to what people sound like if they're from Ireland. And that's an important skill. You're used to my voice and you probably don't find it very difficult to understand, but you want to remember to learn accents from other countries. You've probably heard a lot of people from England speaking English, and you might be comfortable with their accents. But maybe you're not very familiar with an Irish accent. And so, yeah, take a listen to Irish English. If you're interested, I could try to share some with you. I think on my Facebook page, I shared a girl named Saoirse Ronan a little while ago. And you could check out her video and the way she speaks, and that's an Irish accent. It sounds really nice, but it's very different than the way I speak. So, yeah, give that a listen and see if you can understand Irish English. And, yeah, that's it. So I think we can wrap up for today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you had some fun. If you're interested in other stuff like this, please let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. yeah, and happy St. Patrick's Day. So I'll try to do some stuff like this in the future, maybe talk about holidays that are coming up, different little parts of American culture, and yeah, hopefully you like this style of stream. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And yeah, this weekend, if you go out, you might be able to find there are a couple Irish bars in Taipei. So if you want to try Guinness, that dark Irish beer, you could try to find a place in Taipei. I think there's a place called James Joyce. I'm not sure if it's still around. Should be. But yeah, search Irish Bar Taipei if you want to try a Guinness. And it's really nice. And they might have like a St. Patrick's Day event this weekend or something. Okay, so let's wrap up for today. Happy St. Paddy's Day, everyone. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye.